this could potentially be a complete dumpster fire disaster, but screw it, let's ride. Do what you want to do, and if you don't want to do something, then don't do it. Life is way too short, and as someone who has had to bury multiple family members and now has my last remaining grandparent in the hospital, do not let anyone tell you what to do or not do, especially some random dude who just got out of university a few years ago. What they have to say on the internet, throw it into the dumpster. Do what you want to do. But, and it's a massive Cardi B-sized but, it has been much solicited, my opinion, so I'm gonna give it. Oh, pander to me all you want. By all means, please pander to me. So many people have this weird idea in their head that pandering is bad. Oh no, I'm totally down to be totally unapologetically pandered towards. People may think that's sarcastic, but I'm actually being very serious. If you're gonna target me as like your key audience that you're gonna try and make happy, or a part of the audiences you want to make happy, awesome. That works for me. If you're gonna try and make me happy, I'm not gonna complain about that. So Diablo IV Season 2 though is coming in less than 24 hours, so let's be completely brutally honest. Diablo 4's first season lost me at level 70. It was awful. It was a complete and utter disappointment. Once I hit World Tier 4, I literally stopped caring. I didn't level past 70. But Season 2, well, based on what they said, at least, we'll have to see it in game, because remember, these are the same guys that kind of fucked up the math on their social media material that they posted with basic mathematical errors. They also had that one error where if you got the gold gain earn or whatever, they would just raise the prices of all the costs at the shops. Like, this is not lost on me, guys. We'll need to see if it translates into the game. But based on what they said, well, Season 2 has addressed a lot of my concerns. My personal concerns. I don't really give a about the random concerns about these YouTubers who grind this day in, day out. I care about my concerns, and you guys asked for my personal unsolicited opinion. That's my personal unsolicited opinion. I don't give a about a lot of the stuff that these people are saying. I really don't. But for a lot of my personal concerns as a player myself, as someone who's taking this game a lot more casually, because 14 is obviously my main game, I have a full-time job, streaming is, I don't want to ever stream in my life, that shit's just toxic. But my concerns, I feel, were addressed. Not all of them, but I'll get into that later. Which really gets to what I was saying earlier about pandering. Diablo 4 has a lot of things I personally asked for, that I personally wanted. I see a ton of buffs that I did personally ask for, that I personally wanted for the particular jobs that I play. I mean, classes that I play with particular builds, like Minion Builds. The experience gain has been boosted by 40% baseline, meaning getting to World Tier 4 will take 40% less time. Huge win. Gold gain was boosted, re-rolling costs were incredibly lowered. A sort of loot filter, which if I did play last Epoch was a lot better, but this is a sort of loot filter was implemented that helps inventory management. If you watch my old Diablo 4 videos when I literally quit, inventory management in Season 1 drove me insane. But more than a lot of that is my playstyle was a big focus of buffs, and like I said, pander to me all you want. Said that at the start, I'm totally down for this. And Diablo 4 did a ton of that. They massively buffed companions and minion builds. And that is, to be clear, stuff that I want to go to a game like Diablo 4 for. This is stuff I cannot get in Final Fantasy XIV, and so other games need to fill that niche. They need to fill that void that I can't get in 14. And you can see like, let's be honest. Do you see any minion or swarm builds in Final Fantasy XIV? No, you don't. And the Diablo 4 developers buffed minions to the ceiling. Minions are absolutely bonkers, especially when I looked at some of these new seasonal vampiric powers plus them. It's going to be great. Endgame is another thing that I think that Diablo 4 has supposedly apparently approved upon. We'll have to see how it plays out. Again, I can't emphasize that enough. We'll have to see how it plays out. Based on what they said, it sounds promising. They've added a bunch of bosses to farm out in Endgame and utilize that to target farm uniques that you'd possibly want and even stimulate the in-game economy. Huge problem, though, and for the record, I do think this is something worth considering for sure. Absolutely, I think this is a very good loop. If you look at Warframe, they have the Eidolon hunts that still go on to this day. Well, I should say Triathlon, whatever. I wonder if anyone would even know the difference if I didn't correct myself. But the problem with this endgame boss system, and I'm going to be blunt, it is exceptionally, someone did calculations and it was like fucking 16 times faster if you farm it in a group. But this game doesn't have a party find. This game doesn't have a party finder, a group finder, whatever you want to call it. Duty finder, whatever. So to make the solo player feel that completely like a second class citizen in your game, I think is ridiculous. For it to be 16 times better to farm it in a group, I think that's dog shit. I'm not gonna like say that any differently. It's just like in terms of like how you target farm like the bosses and like everyone gets a key and all this shit. I think that that's unacceptably different. I think that there needs to be some consideration for the solo player because let's be frank, a lot of the players playing this game play it solo. And by a lot, I mean a lot. And then you can make the argument, oh, it's an MMORPG. Diablo 4 is not a freaking MMO. Even though they crammed the most clunky social features I've seen in a while in the game. And it really became apparent when I hit World Tier 4 and Endgame. It's clunky. It doesn't make sense. There needs to be at least a party finder, at least, and that's just a start. But lastly, to put a bow on the bosses for Endgame, I think that it's not going to be enough, but you know what? It is something. Now for the actual seasonal content, they're adding vampiric powers alongside a host of new uniques that actually makes what they are calling uber uniques actually have a drop rate, so they may somehow actually exist to someone that you actually know that exists, which that's promising to hear. I guess I don't know if they pitched it in the best way possible, and trust me, coming from the world of software, I know the limitations of my ability to sell something, but I don't think that that was the words that I would have chosen. But the vampiric powers, I'll be direct, some of these look absolutely amazing. I'm actually genuinely excited for them. Add in the balance changes, aka they buffed my particular builds I enjoy. I already talked about that. That's a big win in my book. I don't care about anyone else's builds. Meh, they could remain whatever. Mine were buffed. That makes me happy. Again, you asked for my personal opinion. You're getting my personal opinion. Now I've kind of went over everything. I say give it a shot. The one thing that I have to say that I do think they failed on was they didn't buff the wolves more for Druid. Like, wolves' damage is unacceptable. Even if the wolves could genuinely tank, which they absolutely couldn't before, and I still am very unconvinced that they could now, guys. Let's be clear. Those wolves, even with the werewolves legendaries and all that, they're gonna get shredded. Why do I know this? Because I tried to do that in the first preseason, and it went so badly. So I think that this is a huge wasted opportunity. I guess we'll need to see next season if they're gonna buff wolves. Guys, why aren't you buffing wolves? Like, they with all the legendaries and all the affixes did basically dog shit damage. Why? Which means that I'm going to be throwing a necromancer. Which is great. Like, I mean, it's a minion based build, so it's something new to 14. It's novel, it's exciting, it's new. So I can't complain much. It was buffed, it looks cool with the vampiric powers, but kind of sucks because I really wanted to be a werewolf with giant herd of werewolves around me, just rolling around. I almost said Faerun. This is Baldur's Gate, Cole. I think that would be my fantasy. But either way, here are my thoughts on Diablo 4. Will I be playing it? Absolutely, because I think it would be fun. I think it would be good. And you know what? If people online tell me don't play it, bruh, I'm so sick of burying people at this point. I'm gonna play what I want to play. And if I don't want to play something, I'm not going to play it. It's just like you don't see me playing Genshin Impact. I think that's such a fucking rip-off cash grab of a game. Or Honkai Star Rail. Like, ew. I will never willingly support that kind of monetary policy. Nope. That's why you don't see me play it. You don't see me talk about it. Because even though I am young, I still think it's completely ridiculous for a game to be that predatory. Not that Blizzard games are much better, but you know what, they aren't a gacha game, so maybe they are better. I don't know.